As many of you guys know, I recently purchased a Mark IV Supra off of Copart, which I thought was gonna be the deal of a century. Upon getting the car and inspecting it, we realized that the engine was grenaded. Oh my God, I didn't even notice. Oh my God. And a lot of valuable parts were stripped out of the car before we took delivery of it. Now I paid $50,000 for this Supra when it's really worth maybe $25,000. This has turned into the largest financial loss I have ever done when it comes to buying cars. And I was placed with a very difficult decision. Do I sell the Supra and cut my losses and move on? Or do we save the car and triple down? It's kind of what we do. We take cars that belong in the trash, that have seen a tough life, and we give them the life that they truly deserve. But first things first, we need a new motor. So I made a phone call down to our friends over at JDM of California. I've been sourcing my motors from them for the past 5 years, and I asked if they had a non-BBTI 2JZ in stock, and we were in luck because they had one left in stock. So we got that thing next day down to our location for the new Supra, and now that we have this, it's time for us to focus on the appearances of the car. Now thankfully, I have this Supra. Now because I own this car, I've actually been stocking a handful of parts from aero to engine modifications to wheels to brakes, tons of parts, which is actually one of the main reasons as to why I wanted to buy that Supra, because I knew that I had a bunch of parts for it. So then I thought to myself, why don't we start using the parts I kept for my Supra for that Supra? So this will be our new Ridox bumper for the Fireburn Supra, and it's gonna come with these front canards, and it's gonna get this big carbon fiber splitter, these authentic bail side fenders, paired with this authentic bail side hood, a more aggressive set of side skirts, and to finish it off, a set of S2 headlights. And the old Supra is gonna be getting a more OEM finish type of look, which I've kind of been wanting for quite a while. Now that I've got you guys caught up with the appearance package of both cars, now let's talk about performance, starting with the fueling. We're obviously gonna be making more horsepower than stock, which means we're gonna need to upgrade the fueling system. And when it comes to fueling systems, the first place I go to is Radium Engineering. We use them in all of our cars. Literally almost every single car in this place uses Radium. I think they all do, like 100%, they all use Radium Engineering. We're gonna do the same thing with this Supra. This is a drop-in system that we're gonna be using on the stock fuel tank, which is one of my favorite things about them. We're gonna be putting in 2 pumps, 2 450s. This could probably handle 800, 900, 1,000 horsepower, more than what we're gonna need for this build. And not only are we gonna be upgrading the fuel system, Calvin is starting on the wiring. There's quite a bit of relays that need to go in. There's also quite a bit of hoses we need to set up with the car. This is AN lines from the rails all the way back to the pumps. There's an inline filter, and they come with every single thing you could possibly need. And this is why I love Radium, because you know that you can go there, you can shop on their site, and once you're done, you check out, you have every piece of the puzzle for your fuel system, and you're not gonna need anything. So it makes the job quite easy. When we were looking for a transmission to put in this car, because I knew I didn't wanna do an automatic, there were a couple options, but I ended up settling on the same thing that we put in Danny's Miata. And that is a Tremec T56 transmission. This thing is brand new in box, it can hold a ton of power, and my favorite thing about it is it feels better than almost any other manual transmission I've ever driven. And I know what you're thinking, TJ, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're not gonna put the V160 transmission into your Supra. And if you don't know what that is, the V160 is the transmission that comes in the turbo Supra manual options. This is one of the most popular transmissions out there just because of how amazing it feels. And it coming out of a Supra obviously provides a little bit of Supra tax, but there's one main problem. It's like $10,000. And one of the best things about this T56 is that it comes in at a little bit less than half the price of a V160. This transmission costs roughly around $4,000, can handle a ton of power, and honestly, I think feels even better than a V160. We got an unboxing to do. Bedroom modification, bedroom parts, unboxing time. This box is from my favorite, Helix Sleep. This is what it looks like when you order a mattress from Helix Sleep. The mattress will come shipped in this box oh God. Once you get the mattress out of the box, you have to trim it on all sides. It's gonna expand in the mattress over a couple hours. You have to be careful because once you open this and it becomes a full-size mattress, it gets exponentially harder to move. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my God! Ah! Now right there is my old Helix mattress, but this is my new one. This is the new Helix Midnight Elite. What makes Helix so great is the fact that you can take a quiz online, and out of the 20 different mattresses that they offer, it will determine what mattress is best for you. Now I'm a back sleeper, and sometimes I'll go to my side, which is why I got paired with this mattress. Ordering off of the website is not a guessing game because they will help you decide which one is for you. Most people end up just using the same mattress for years and years on end and end up getting back pain and neck pain. They never know where it comes from. I used to be one of those people. And when I switched to Helix, all my problems went away because I finally had a mattress that was tailored to my body. And if you're nervous about buying something that you can't actually see and feel in person, well, don't worry because Helix has a 100-night sleep trial. That's over 3 months for you to decide if you actually end up loving the mattress or not. And they even have free shipping in the US. Stop wasting time and head over to helixsleep.com/TJ Hunt. And you can get 20% off your mattress plus 2 free pillows. And might I just say, the pillows that you get are actually gas and you're gonna love it. It reminds me of that like perfect hotel bed that you sleep in. That's what these are. Click the link down below or just go to helixsleep.com/TJ Hunt. Thank you so much to Helix Sleep for sponsoring today's video. And now let's get back to it. But obviously the T56 doesn't bolt onto the back of a JZ, but that's okay because we actually have a brand new bell housing and clutch setup that is gonna allow us to put the T56 on the back of the JZ. But when doing that, you run into a bunch of other problems because the shifter location doesn't mount up correctly, the transmission mount doesn't mount up correctly, and that's why we have this stuff. This is a conversion kit so we can put the T56 inside of the Supra and have everything work flawlessly. Well, there's quite a few pieces, quite a few things that are gonna make this possible, but it is possible. Now, obviously we had an auto and we're converting it to manual, so that means we have to add a third pedal, we have to have a master cylinder for the clutch, we have to have clutch lines, which we all have right here, with an OEM clutch pedal, and we even have little Milton master cylinders. This thing's gonna be sick. You would never be able to tell this thing was ever auto. With the new non-Pt.2 JZ, we've gone ahead and put an Artec manifold on it. This is one of my favorite sounding manifolds when it comes to JZs. This was supposed to be for my first Supra, but now the new Supra is gonna be stealing it. We have a brand new set of Haltech R35 coils, which is gonna be great for any type of power delivery we're asking for. And Dylan did an amazing job at polishing the new intake manifold. Now it looks perfect. Ooh. And tucked underneath the intake manifold, we have nothing but the best, and that is our radium fuel rail paired with ID 1300 injectors. Again, way more fueling than this motor is ever gonna need, and that's how we like it. The time has come for us to put the JZ back in the Supra, and we're gonna be test fitting and make sure it doesn't hit anything. There's a few different things that the previous owner did with this car, as far as routing certain lines that we want to change, and assuming the JZ hits nothing, we'll do its hard bolt and get the motor sitting in its car for the final time. The problem area that we were worried about was the booster to the back of the intake manifold. Looks to be mighty fine. With the motor now placed in the car, we're gonna focus on getting the transmission to go into the back of the engine. We don't believe there should be any modification to the trans tunnel to get this in, but just to make our life a little bit easier, we're gonna loosen the subframe so we can tip the engine back a little bit to create a little bit more room.
With applying pressure from the front of the motor, we can tip it back just a little bit to give us the exact clearance we're hoping we need
to make our life just a little bit easier.
Your little hand.
Oh, God, that was heavy. Holy crap.
You want to put something.
Now with the transmission on the transmission stand, we can finally put the new T56 transmission on the back of the JZ and call it manual swapped. For the record, I hate stabbing the transmission. It never works out for me. It always takes a long time. That was pretty quick. That was pretty good. Now that we have the transmission in the general spot in which we need, now is the real battle. And that is putting the bolts to the back side of the trans to connect it to the bell housing. In theory, it's pretty easy, but with doing a T56 addition on the back of the JZ and a Supra, this transmission was not designed for this trans tunnel. So space is definitely our enemy, and we're gonna be using every type of extension combination to existence to try to get these bolts in the back. The lower half is obviously much easier. The top half, that's gonna be a different story.
And it really helps if you have a gorilla to help do the shaking because they're much stronger than humans.
Now with the engine and transmission officially installed, we can move on to the last piece of the puzzle that after this, we can call our drivetrain set and done and fully installed, and that's the drive shaft. Luckily for us, our auto to manual conversion kit came with the drive shaft. Otherwise, we'd have to get a custom drive shaft, which isn't a problem, but takes extra time. But it's nice that this kit included it. After stabbing the drive shaft into the transmission and assembling it with the 4 provided bolts, we also went ahead and upgraded our radiator system so that our cooling could stay efficient. Now that we're upgrading power and we're gonna probably be sending more heat through this setup, it's important that we keep our temperatures cool so we can make consistent power no matter how hard we're driving. This Supra came with the world's rustiest rotors. One might think, hey, let's replace those. Another might think, maybe let's not.
I'm gonna show y'all something my grandpappy taught me. It ain't gonna look like that no more. It's funny that I can feel a high spot in the rotor just from doing that. Now what you wanna do is hit her with some 320. Let her eat!
Oh, it's so hot on my finger.
Damn, would you
Brand new.
Would you look at that?
BNIB.
Would you look at that?
So obviously these Veilside parts are second hand. Because they're second hand, there's actually quite a bit of wear and tear on it and a little bit of damages. We have some chipping paint and we have some scuffs that now we need to repair, which is easy because we have an in-house fiberglass repair. His name is Big Boy Dylan. That right there, es no bueno, but es malo. Shout out to all my Spanish speakers out there. Spanish demo coming soon? Probably, maybe. Speaking of coming soon, for those of you that are in California and want to come hang out for a bit and come say what's up and see us drive and rip, we're gonna be at the LZ World Tour in Bakersfield, California. Dates are on screen. It's a Saturday and Sunday event. We're gonna be out there with our semi truck and we're actually holding a meet and greet. So if you wanna come hang out with me, hang out with me, Twibby, hang out with Cal, hang out with Dylan, we're gonna be there. And also Hunt & Co is gonna be doing a pop-up shop, which means we're gonna be bringing inventory that's discounted prices to the website because you're buying it in person. Come out, say what's up, buy tickets to my meet and greet, come hang out, and the links will be down below. We're really excited to go to this event. First race of the year. We're gonna be driving against a bunch of Pro 1 drivers, which is going to be fun. But hey, we've gotten a podium at the LZ competition before. I'm trying to set this up without dropping it. And we're gonna do it again. And as you can see, there's no Supra in the shop. The Supra is getting some modifications, but I will soon update you with all that stuff. Does this need repair as well?
No, I was learning some learning knowledge from the learned master over here about weave and chop and structural integrity and other stuff. So I was just asking questions.
Time to get fixing, baby. What we do best, triple down. One would say we have a problem.
Nope.
And I would agree, check Tuesday, check Tuesday. Now when it comes to fiberglass work, I'm not the best. Dylan's actually pretty good at it. Do you wanna give us a little rundown of how you're gonna fix this?
Yeah, all I'm doing is I clean and prep these surfaces. What I chose to do is kind of treat it like a crack in a rim or something like that. So where it was separating, I cut a line. So the fibers, they were binding, and then you cut the line, and then they can kind of fall back to where they were. And all I did was put 2 layers of fiberglass with some tape on the bottom, and then I threw this on top. So all I'm doing now is I'm cutting my little bits to cover up the rest of these holes. So we have 2 layers of fiberglass to give some structure to it. And then I'm gonna go get our new boat fiberglass dispenser from our nice lev rack.
So when it comes to fiberglass, you actually have to mix the resin together to get the right consistency, which gets the right formula so that it can act appropriately. But we have a new solution that we've been using, and let me show you guys why it's really great.
This is super sick because it comes with hardener, your epoxy resin, and it's just 1-to-1. 1 pump of hardener. 1 pump of resin. It's a time lapse. And then all I'm gonna do is brush out, spread out all the bubbles, make sure everything's as flat as possible. Just like that, see all those bubbles too? Hopefully, with more mixing, those are gone. And then, you know how to fiberglass fenders.
I told you guys this last week that we had someone coming for this exact section of the shop. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome Andy to the channel. Andy, say hello to everyone.
How you doing?
Andy's the owner of Bolts and Nuts, and this might look a little bit familiar. There's quite a few other creators out there that Andy has partnered with, and I'm so stoked that he's partnered with us because what you see behind me is kind of like the highlight of the shop. Like the cars are cool and all, everything's really cool, but with how many cars we build a year and how many things we take apart or how many cars that we buy that are a disaster and need extra help, not having the right hardware or the right bolts and nuts is a nightmare. As you can tell, bolts and nuts is the answer here, as you can tell, and we'll go over all this, but Andy, quickly tell us what Bolts and Nuts does.
Yeah, so we are an online fastener distributor. We stock over 400 different fastener assortments and also 18,000 products. So we have a ton of bolts and nuts in our shop. We sell fasteners by the piece, pack, and your bulk. So if you need one bolt, you can buy it from us, all the way to these big setups just like this.
One of the coolest things about Andy and his whole entire story is he started this company 11 years ago in his garage. Everything is from the ground up, and his sister's actually here too, and it's a family-owned business. They're amazing. So we have everything here from flange hardware to massive hardware to all different sorts of nut assortments, and we have all these like rollout cabinets that have a variety of us. I mean, I haven't even gotten familiar with any of this stuff yet. They literally just finished everything. On every single cubicle, you can scan the QR code if you need to reorder it, and it literally goes straight to the website, and you can very easily order a refill.
You could buy one piece, 100 pieces, a full truckload, whatever you're looking for. And not only that, even if you just buy one bolt from us, it comes in a bag just like this. You actually get a free bin label with everything you order with that QR code. So when you need to reorder this item, you just scan that code. You can put that on your baby food jar, your bolt bin, wherever you store your fasteners.
And this is the automotive version, but
Yes.
you have a farmer version.
Yeah, this is a 31,000 piece automotive Mac Daddy setup. It's basically an average size hardware store if you ask my wife.
That too, it's that too.
It has your inch sizes. It goes from 1/4 inch to 5/8, both coarse and fine thread. Over here we have our inch flange bolts, and then it goes down to our metric cap screws, M6 through M16. These are the metric flange bolts down here. Over here, this is where we customize TJs a little bit because they're working on all these Japanese cars. We stock a full line of the JIS flange bolts. These have the special Japanese threads, the M10 1.25 and M12 1.25. And then all the nuts and washers to go with it.
I'm so stoked. So this is gonna live behind bay number 1. You're gonna see it in every video. You need hardware to build your cars. And rather than using those crusty, rusty, old pieces of hardware, get rid of them. Get some zinc plated stuff, get some brand new stuff, and it makes it look a whole hell of a lot better. These cars are held by bolts and nuts. So I'm stoked to partner with you guys and finally have you guys here. It's been a long time coming, so I just wanna say thank you, and you're gonna help elevate us to build bigger and better and faster cars and do it in a quicker time frame because we don't need to go to the hardware store anymore.
Awesome, man.
Thank you.
TJ, you're
Thank
the man.
you so much.
We're so excited to be here. We're excited to supply you in all your cars.
It's all linked down below and it's been on screen, so if this didn't get you fired up, I don't know what will. So go check them out and get yourself hooked up with some bolts and nuts, baby.
This car was auto, and now it's manual. This is like probably the 3rd time we've done this. I think we did it to the S14. This one was a bit easier. I wanted to take all this out, but Ian, smart guy, was like, don't do that. So I went inside, I drilled out the hole, I made the hole bigger. The assembly that we...
Oh my god. Okay.
The assembly that we got was really cool because it has an adapter plate. You put the cylinder through the adapter plate, and then all of that goes against the 3rd pedal on the inside. It's kind of impossible to show you what we did. There was plenty of room. I wasn't worried about it. The other cars, I remember it being a pain, but Ian,
I didn't do nothing.
he knows things. So he helped me out. I couldn't get one of the bolts. Simple mod. Also a hydraulic clutch thing, clutch fork? I don't know what it's called.
Concentric slave cylinder.
Words. Now it's manual. Easy. We have to put the shifter in though.
I'll do that right now. With all the interior pieces removed, we can now install the new shifter that is gonna go on the top of the T56. And we have a new fabricated box here that came with the kit that we purchased for the whole auto to manual swap. So it made it pretty easy. I can't wait just to shift this. Do you remember Danny's Miata? This is the same
It's the same
trans.
thing. That was
It's
really
almost
good.
better than the V160 that comes in the Supra. At least I think
Absolutely.
so. I think it's better.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm the only one who's a victim of always forgetting lefty, loosey, righty, tighty. Like when it's not in the orientation that's in front of you, I'll be upside down and I'm doing it the wrong way, and Calvin looks at me and goes, TJ, wrong way. And I'm like, you're right.
Ooh.
You're right.
Oh yeah.
First shift test. Oh, that feels good.
That feels good, right?
That feels so good. Now with the shifter installed, we can go ahead and at least put back the center console cover. So we're gonna start with the glove box. There's also a few other wires in here that I think are for the radio that we almost cut out, but I think we are actually just gonna keep it in there for now. Hey Calv, it seems like we're missing a Phillips screw. Do you wanna hop over to our bolts and nuts assembly and try to find us the correct one?
Yeah, let's just go over there.
Body bolts and panel screws. That's exactly what we're looking for. Seems to be exactly what we're looking for. That is so cool. We could have desperately used this for the NSX. We had to go to the hardware store like a million times just to find stuff like this, but let's go try it out. That is a feel good moment.
Feels good, man.
How many times in our life have we like needed screws or needed more stuff and we're just like, well, maybe it just doesn't get it there, but not anymore.
Not no more.
Not anymore. All right, the next piece, look at this. A brand new in box from Toyota manual shift cover. And there's a plug right here, which, to be honest, Cal, I don't know what it does, but we're gonna plug it in.
Oh, it's right here. It's a light.
Yeah, it's a light. This thing should just find its home. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna be honest, it's better than your other car over there.
That right there is how you convert an auto to a manual, baby. That feels good.
Good stuff.
Oh!
Feels good.
Manual Supra!
another
Just
one.
like that!
Like that.
Oh! Ian, look how good it looks. Look how good it looks.
Just like it rolled off the lot.
Just like it rolled off the lot. When we see them now, they're all like clapped out and gross and old, but seeing it brand new like this, I mean, you can even kind of see the panel difference color.
Yeah, it's
Kind of.
You might have to.
It's the one's a little bit, like a
Right.
shade darker. Here's the intercooler that the car came with. Now we should be able to reuse all of this, and it's a nice Greddy intercooler. I don't know what year that was made, but it's probably a while ago, but it's still gonna be perfect for this application. So now we're gonna mock this up back on the car and fit it back up so we can get all of the intake piping on. The charge piping is gonna be a different story though. There's something about a big front mount that just gets me going. And now while we're on the topic of boost, I haven't shown you guys our new setup yet, but we are going to be getting rid of the HKS turbo setup, obviously, and we're gonna be switching over to nothing but the best, and that is our Garrett turbo. Now the turbo we're gonna be using on this Supra, then is different than the turbo that I have on my first Supra. This is a Garrett's G35 900, and we're gonna go with an AR housing of 1.06. This is the first time using this setup. We're really excited to use it, and it's gonna be awesome. But unfortunately, we are still waiting on the hot side to show up, but it shows up literally tomorrow. So whether or not we install that in this video or in the next video, this is gonna be the beauty that is gonna be making all of the boost and power for this whole entire car. We also are gonna be using Garrett's new wastegates, which I'm really excited to use because these are brand new to the Garrett lineup, and because this is a twin scroll manifold and twin scroll turbo, we're gonna be utilizing 2 wastegates. And luckily for us, we can reuse all of the pipes because we are sticking with the original intake manifold, so everything on the intake side we can reuse. Now we're utilizing pretty much all of Haltech's entire lineup for this whole entire car, and we still have to wire up a lot of sensors. So one thing that we're working on right now is our flex fuel sensor. We're obviously gonna be running E85 on this car. That's pretty much the ultimate way to make a super easy power jump. But rather than running just E85, I like to include flex fuel sensors in pretty much all of my cars. So we're gonna be utilizing the Haltech flex fuel sensor, which is a pretty easy thing to set up. Have you ever done a flex fuel sensor in a Supra?
I have not done one in a Supra, but I think probably down by the fuel filters where it's gonna end up living.
Okay. Kyle, we're gonna go on a little elevator ride, brother.
Okay.
You don't mind?
No.
So running underneath all these beautiful fuel lines, and shout out to these amazing brackets from Radium. I love how they just include all of that. This is gonna be our feed line, and then this is gonna be our return. So we're gonna find a spot to mount this, probably somewhere near the filter, as long as we can drill in through here and make sure that we're not gonna hit anything in the floor side of the internal side of the cabin. We'll be able to just make a break and make our sensor fit right there. We've identified that this is the right side of the pedal where we think the dead pedal is. So we're gonna mount the bracket here, but first things first, we're gonna do it with self-tap, make sure that we don't hit anything, and then we'll swap it out for some rib nuts. Oh, let me tell you, she ain't going nowhere. Oh my God, it's perfect. All right, now I'm gonna take the self-tapper out, and I'm going to go and find the proper size hardware, and we're gonna riv nut it so we can have a more cleaner look, a little better application. Can't be leaving self-tappies in this car. Ain't no way. So I'm gonna go through all of our options here and find the appropriate sized piece of hardware, which we probably can't use even an M6 because it's not gonna fit on a bracket, and I'm correct. I've been doing this, brother, I've been doing this for some time, and I'm confident we could probably use some sort of socket screw with a smaller profile. Oh, it's still too big. Gotta go smaller. So now what we're gonna do is we're just going to modify the hole, make it a little bit bigger so we can fit the size that I want in there, and we will move on. Now we're just gonna make sure we have the right riv nut, which I'm plenty certain we will. Yes, sir. Now we need to drill out the hole for the riv nut. Yeah. Oh, yeah, bud. And as one door closes, another one opens, and it just so happens that this new Supra is gonna get a brand new life, and we're gonna give it the full treatment. So come back to the next episode where you guys are gonna see the biggest change of this Supra's life. And until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, and keep moving forward.